You're listening to the Build Highlands Back Podcast with Jonathan Raymond. Hi, friends, and welcome to the very first episode of the Build Highlands Back Podcast, brought to you by Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. My name's Nate Garcia, and today I'm with our new Executive Director, Mr. Jonathan Raymond.
How you doing, Nate?
Doing okay.
Great to be on the show today, the maiden voyage. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome. So, you just got signed on, and things are rolling now.
Things are rolling.
How have the last couple of weeks been?
It's been great. First of all, I want to just say I'm so glad to be back in Sacramento. This is a community that I really care a lot about, and the missions of Highlands it's just so crystal clear how important it is. And the community's been terrific. They've been welcoming me back. The team's been great, and they're keeping me real busy. I'm on the go early. And I go all day, and I'm sleeping really well at night. So I think that's saying something.
That's always a good sign.
It is always
a good sign. Let's get a little bit of background on you. Who are you? Where are you from? And what do you do on weekends?
Right. So, I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. So you probably picked up a little bit of the accent. I'm proud of that. Die-hard Red Sox fan. So, as I like to say, some people aren't perfect, except for me, that is. One of three brothers. I'm married. I have three beautiful children and, two great dogs. And on the weekends, I like to garden. I like to be outside. I play tennis. I ride my bike. In the winter, I ski, so, real outdoorsy. And but I enjoy my quiet time on the weekends. It's my time to energize, spend time with friends and family, and really catch up and focus on the things that I love to do, and that just re-energize me.
That's great. The Build Highlands Back Podcast with Jonathan Raymond. Well, turning to Highlands.
Yes.
It's been a tough go.
Right.
It's been a tough go. And, we've been doing our very best to make everybody happy and do the things that we need to do. You were talking about, putting kids and communities first. I've heard you speak about putting kids and communities first. What is it about Highlands in this moment that speaks to your heart?
Yeah. So, without a doubt, Nate, the mission, right? So we're out of school right now, but I've had a chance to, talk to staff and even meet some of the alumni. And I'm looking forward to meeting more of the students. I've heard their stories. I've seen their videos. I watched the graduation. And when I see our students and I walk the halls, I just don't see a student, right? What I see is I see a mother. I see a father. I even see a grandparent. I see Californians that are hard at work, that want to become something better, right? They want to learn to speak English. They want to get a diploma. They want to become part of a community. They want to be seen, and they want to belong. And they have every right to be seen and to belong. These are immigrants. These are refugees. They're adults who made some mistakes, and they're trying to rebuild their life back and to be something better. And that's powerful. They're survivors. They are all about second chances, and that's worth fighting for. And that really speaks, and it really resonates with me. They are our future, and they're integral members of our communities. So it's really clear, and it really energizes me.
Yeah, I've had the good fortune of sitting down with a lot of our students, and it's probably easy if you never interface with them to see them as a number, and to possibly see them, I don't want to say dehumanized, but you don't get that human element until you truly meet them, and they came from Afghanistan, under really pressing, situations, or, just the regular path didn't work out for them.
Right.
And now they want to do good.
Right.
And yeah. Even I get emotional talking about it because of those
and they
folks.
deserve that opportunity.
Absolutely. We've been made to do some really tough things in the last year, right? And as you spoke in your intro that we talked about a little bit last week, some mistakes were made in the past. You've launched a bold reform agenda, a very needed bold reform agenda. What's already changed?
Yeah. So much has changed, Nate. Right. So, we've got a new governing board. We're in the process of reconstituting it. We went through massive layoffs, over 600 individuals. Painful and difficult, but necessary. We've put in place reforms around our hiring practices, our spending practices. We're going through a whole new re-credentialing process to ensure that we have the right teachers, teaching our students at the right time. We've reformed our attendance practices and our policies. So, so much has been done. We've closed a number of our sites, over 20 sites, to make sure that, we're in the legal compliance. So, there's a lot that we've done and that we continue to do. We're in the process of hiring a chief academic officer and a chief operating officer, so that our academics are high quality and all about excellence, and that, we never make the same mistakes again going forward.
And that speaks to the mission as well, because if we can provide something high quality for our students,
that's right,
they can be high quality for our society and for our community. What's been the hardest part of implementing such drastic changes and such drastic, reforms?
It's the human element of it, right? These are people, these are jobs, their moms, their dads, their brothers, their sons, their daughters. And, the layoffs that we went through, they were painful. We did them decisively. We did them swiftly. They were necessary, as part of our effort to rebuild. And, we can never lose sight of that. Our students, they came to class and they were told that their teacher had to go. That's really difficult. While I said, it was painful. I wasn't here and I wasn't part of it, but I can only imagine. But it was necessary, and we're in the process of rebuilding back Highlands better, and that's the legacy that we can leave, to all those who have been here and to all those who will come. But at the end of the day, we're an organization of people.
Yeah. It was tough to see colleagues leave. That's for sure. But the idea of building it back better, building it back bulletproof, we will be building the longevity of this place from the ground up. And we appreciate you taking this on, because it's, there's probably other jobs out there to take.
Right? This is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it's all lined up, and I'm really happy and proud. And, it's a privilege to be here, to be able to serve this community and to serve our students and to work with our, with our staff and our team.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Build Highlands Back Podcast with Jonathan Raymond.
Part of this process is interfacing with government entities and, the people who make decisions about our funding and how we operate. If you had 5 minutes with every legislator, what would you say to them?
Yeah, well, they give me maybe 2 or 3.
Right.
But what I say is, first of all, I wasn't here when a lot of this happened and these mistakes were made. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. And then I say, look, hold us accountable, push us to be better, but don't punish our students. They deserve to get a high school diploma. They deserve to learn English. They deserve to find that job and to live a life of dignity. And at a time when the political rhetoric is all about, hitting immigrants and scapegoating them, that's not the narrative that we need. So if you believe in redemption, if you believe in opportunity, if you believe in second chances, stand with us, don't run away.
Yeah. And ultimately, it becomes more expensive to the public if these folks don't get integrated into society in a useful way.
Yeah.
If they're draining public funds in other ways, this is more of an investment in them to where they can take this and they can start, going from tax taker to taxpayer, those types of things.
Yeah, they are. That's what I tell the public. There's more to your investment than you can see, right? Our students, moms and dads and parents and grandparents, they they're here to learn English. They're here to earn that diploma, to get a job, and they become nurses. They become teachers. They become small business owners, and they become integral parts of our communities. These folks who have been immigrants, they've come back from having made mistakes, and now they're paying taxes. And let's be clear that, you know, by closing Highlands, you know, you devastate thousands of families. And what that means is more unemployment, you know, more public benefits, more instability and uncertainty. So it's a good public investment.
It is, and it's generational. These, you know, the children, it's a very large percentage of our student body are parents, you know, given that they're 22 years and older. And
70% actually.
70%
yeah.
of our students
average
are parents.
age is over 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of children. That's a lot of children that are watching their example, which is their parents.
Yeah, that's what I've told our friends and my colleagues in surrounding, school districts, that the parents, the guardian, the caregivers of your students are our students, and a child's first, most consistent, and most important teacher is a parent, is a family member, is a guardian, and a caregiver. So not only by educating them, by giving them hope, are we enabling them to be better teachers for their children, but they're also better role models. And they can be living examples of what happens when you're persistent, when you're resilient, when you don't quit. So they're not quitting. So we're asking California, and we're asking everyone, like, look, you know, don't quit on our students.
These folks, when they graduate, they're going to need a job. They're going to need, you know, they want to integrate into our communities, even outside of some of their siloed communities, you know, of their own language or their own folks. You know, what's your message to California employers and business leaders and people that will employ these folks when they do graduate?
Right. Yeah. So it's real simple, Nate. Right. You need workers. We train them. You want folks who speak English, have a high school diploma, and have skills. That's what Highlands does every day. Thousands of people coming through our doors, trying to better themselves and wanting to be part of a community. So if workforce pipelines are important to you, if investing is important to you, then stand with Highlands. If we're not here, you don't get that supply and that pipeline. So we need you. And we need you to be with us and to stand with us and to fight to keep Highlands open.
What message do you have for the students of Highlands today?
Yeah, well, I can't wait to meet them. But what I want to say to them today is, we see you. We believe in you. We're fighting for you. This is your school. And we're doing everything we can to keep Highlands open and to make the school better. Second chances are worth fighting for. And our students, you're worth fighting for.
You're listening to the Build Highlands Back Podcast with Jonathan Raymond.
Moving on to other folks that support us or maybe don't support us. You know, I mean, we got to be real about, you know, the folks that make our decisions. But when sort of talking about the sentiment of the community at large, the taxpayers,
right?
Why should they be on our side? Why should they care about Highlands?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it earlier, Nate. There's a whole lot more, right, to tax dollars than meets the eye. You know, that our students become, right, immigrants, refugees, people coming back from having been incarcerated. They become the next small business owners. They become teachers. They become nurses. They have a job. They're getting jobs. They're paying taxes. And the alternative, if Highlands were to close, is you'd have thousands of families now at risk, and that would be devastating. And it would end up costing California more in unemployment, in other benefits, and in lost hope, insecurity, instability.
So Highlands is at a critical crossroads.
Right.
You know, what makes this moment so urgent?
Right. I think you said it really well, right? You know, we are at a crossroads, and California must decide. You know, are we going to fight for immigrants and refugees and those that are most vulnerable, or are we going to give up on them? And giving up on them and closing Highlands would be devastating for thousands and thousands of families. And it would send the message that when times get tough, when things get hard, we quit and we give up on our most vulnerable. And that's not a message that we can send. That's not an option. So we got to fight.
So with everything going on, the school year looming, we're rallying.
Right.
So what does Highlands need? How can people help?
Yeah, we need stories, Nate. We need folks to write their lawmakers and to share how powerful and what an experience Highlands has been for them or somebody in their life. We need our educators, our business leaders, our faith-based and other community leaders to stand with us. They can stand with us publicly. They can do it privately. We're not asking for charity. We're asking for the opportunity to continue to serve. So if you care about immigrants, if you care about refugees, if you care about those folks, returning who have made mistakes, then you care about California's future and its economy, and then you care about saving Highlands. And you can go to www.buildhighlandsback.org. Again, that's buildhighlandsback.org, and you can find all the resources you need and ways that you can contact your lawmakers. It's really important, and now's the time. And I just want to thank our community for supporting us and for doing everything we can to ensure that Highlands has a future to serve our incredible and remarkable students.
Let's talk about the podcast just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm here to get us rolling, but it's going to be your podcast.
We're changing seats pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll
right?
change seats pretty soon.
Right. Yeah.
Give us a little preview of what your plan is for
Yeah. So I think I want to be able to do just what we talked about, right? I want to be able to share stories and voices. So we'll be interviewing students, we'll be interviewing alumni, we'll be interviewing those partners who are committed. They're with us. They're helping to fight for us, and who can tell the community why Highlands is so important and why it's worth saving, and how a dollar invested in Highlands is a multiplier throughout our community. These are the folks and these are the people and these are the stories that we're going to really, really lift up. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I like being in the other chair. It's my better side anyways.
Well, Jonathan, thanks for doing this, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Oh, it's great, Neg. I really appreciate you and your team. It's been great, and as I said, I'm so honored to be part of the Highlands community, part of the Highlands team, and we're rebuilding Highlands back better. And it's the Highlands way.
The Highlands way. Well, thanks, Jonathan.
You're welcome. Thank you, Nate.
For more information on the exciting things happening at Highlands, visit buildhighlandsback.org and follow us on social media platforms at HCCTS.